Fun fact, if you were to fold a piece of paper in half just 42 times, it would actually reach the moon. The average thickness of a piece of paper is somewhere between 0.05 and 0.1 millimeters. So let's use the extreme and use 0.1 millimeters to do our calculations. Now, since we are doubling the height each time from 0.1 to 0.2 to 0.4 to 0.8, and we keep doubling each time, we can represent this mathematically with an exponential equation. Here on Desmos, I've graphed out that exponential equation, and you can see just how fast it grows. In fact, we can't even really get close to looking at what 42 reaches. It's way off the scale. So, in order to look at this a little bit better, we'll have to do a bit of unit conversions. And instead of using 0.1 for millimeters, let's try converting that to meters by dividing by 1,000. Here we now have it in terms of meters, and you can see that it does still grow, unfortunately, way too fast to get anything helpful, but it does give us a bit of a better understanding. Let's take a look at the example 14. At about 14, it's about 1.6 meters tall, which is just slightly shorter than the height of the average human. Now again, this does look a little bit better, but still is just way too hard, even in kilometers, to try to see what 42 is. That's just the power of exponentiation. It still gives us a bit of a better understanding. We can look at about 23 here. It's about 0.83 kilometers, which is about the same height as the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. Let's take this just one step farther and go to megameters, dividing again by, you guessed it, 1,000. Now this is looking much more promising. 42 is still really high up, but it's something that I think we can see. Let me graph a line for our equation at f of 42 and take a look. I've now graphed a line. In fact, it tells me the value right there, but we can look at this graphically. Still requires quite a lot of zooming out, but here you can finally see that point of intersection. Right here at 42 folds, it's about 4.39 megameters. Since the moon is about 384,000 kilometers away from Earth, that means that folding 42 times would actually pass the moon using a thickness of 0.1 millimeters. This really just shows the true power of exponential growth. Now, it's really impossible to fold a piece of paper more than 7 times in half because it just gets too thick and too small of a surface area. So our hopes of reaching the moon by folding paper are sadly crushed. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fun?